the world famous Mykonos. Roles have reversed. Ready to party?
Let's go to Mykonos.
That is the single most expensive beer I've ever had.
Even the toilets are beautiful.
Good morning, guys, from the uninhabited island of Venice, just off the coast of the world famous Mykonos. We are currently on an 8-day cruise with Variety Cruises, and what a way to wake up this morning. You look out of your window and you're in this tiny little cove with nobody else about. Good morning.
Good morning. What a way to wake up. Welcome to Greece. I absolutely love this. So this is basically the island day trip that you would come to escape the party island of Mykonos. It's lovely, and actually we have this cove all to ourselves. It doesn't even have a name, it's so secret. We had to get a tender boat here this morning, so really it's just us from our cruise, and I think that's amazing.
It's a great way to ease us in. Start with this and then ease us into the mayhem of Mykonos.
Oh, the mayhem of Mykonos.
We do have our morning workout sorted. We've been supplied with a kayak.
Your morning workout. I am going to sit at the back and float.
Roles have reversed.
It's my morning workout.
This
now.
morning it is Molly's turn to row me for once. Normally I chauffeur you about. Today it is my turn to take it all in, and this is just so unique. There is like some ruins that are left on the little bay that we're in. I have no idea when from, and the watercolour is just amazing. We have actually been joined by 2 other catamarans, so if they would like to leave, that would be much appreciated.
Back we go.
Whew, that water was definitely fresh, but it's the best way to start the day. I am now an advocate that you should swim in cold water I'm not going to do it, there's no way I'm going to do it, but we now have around a half-hour cruise to, it doesn't need an introduction, to Mykonos. Ready to party?
Let's go to Mykonos. But first, lunch.
I really need to steer clear from these buffets.
Let's go.
Yamas.
Yamas.
I've eaten too much.
Me too.
Far too much. I don't know if I should really go into a beach club in Mykonos now after all that food, but as we're going to Mykonos, the crew have brought round everyone a drink, and we have a Cretan Kings, the beer of the Crete Mountains, and there comes Mykonos.
Welcome to Mykonos. We've arrived into the new port, so we actually have to get a sea taxi to the old port and to the main town. I'm so excited.
This is the coolest thing ever.
I've never seen a sea bus before. Thank you very much.
€2, 2 minutes, and you get from the new port to the old port, which is actually in the main town of Mykonos, also known as Hora, the same as in Naxos, and you get off and you're greeted with lots of bars, lots of restaurants, and it's actually quite busy today. There are a few cruise ships, but we've been looking, and the big cruise ships leave at like 3 o'clock, whereas we have all night.
As 2022 comes to an end, it is time to start planning for 2023. With the help of Skyscanner, we are going to give you some of our 2023 hot list countries. We use Skyscanner to plan all of our trips, mostly because it offers you the cheapest destination first. Let's give you our top 3 destinations for 2023. First one is going to be Montenegro. You can fly into Montenegro for as little as £10 in January. A great little break after Christmas, and it doesn't break the bank. Hotlist country number 2 is going to be Romania. From £20 you can fly into one of the cities and you can explore the magical country. For summer, a hot list destination is gonna have to be Greece, and we can guarantee that you will have an unbelievable time. There are so many islands to explore, so you don't have to limit yourself to Santorini, to Mykonos. You can actually check out Naxos and Paros like we did, and you can have equally as amazing time as the other islands, but on a cheaper budget. So let me just check. Flying in August to Greece will be £40. It is an absolute no-brainer. These are from London, by the way. Skyscanner is pretty essential when you're planning your trip. We use it all the time, like I said, mainly to save some money because you can find the cheapest flights. We couldn't recommend it enough. So happy travels! Considering Mykonos is known as the island of wind, luckily we don't have much wind. I don't want to jinx it, but we don't seem to have much wind. And where you get dropped off at the old port, the prices seem pretty reasonable. We were expecting something completely different. Maybe it's just that side, but I mean, for a main, it was like 10 euros. For a wine and a beer, it was like 5 euros.
Normal prices for the islands.
Normal prices for the islands. But I have a feeling we could be heading to the slightly more expensive area.
These back streets are beautiful, but do look just like Naxos and Paros with hundreds more people in.
A lot more people and a lot more blue.
So apparently the law in Mykonos is you either have to have a blue, a red or a green shutter on your house. So blue is for sailor and red is for everyone else. Like you, Molly. You just pop out of a little alleyway and voila! This
makes it look completely different to the other islands. Supposedly, merchants back in the day built these houses based on Venice. I kind of get it, you know, out on the water with the stilts. They're very beautiful, and obviously the 3 different colours: the red, the blue,
apparently this
the green.
Is one of the most This there is one of the most photographed places in all of Europe, and I feel like we need to do the Mykonos test. We need to try out one of these little beach bars. I mean, I knew it was expensive, but
11 euros for a small bottle of beer and 23 euros for a margarita cocktail.
I mean, the view's great. We have the windmills behind, we have Little Venice in front, we've come into
Paris, no, not Mykonos bar. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to suck it up.
Yamas. I think that is the single most expensive beer I've ever had in my life. 11 euros for a mythos that I normally get from the supermarket, and 14 euros for a Prosecco. But you're only in Mykonos once, the view's worth it, I suppose. 25 euros is definitely the most we have ever spent for 2 drinks. I feel like as soon as they call it a bar stroke club and it has an amazing view, you pay almost double the price, because the other side it was a lot cheaper, like 5 euros a drink. And we were actually talking to the waitress and she said all the famous beach clubs of Mykonos have actually now closed. They close like middle of October, so our plans to go there are not happening, which is probably a good thing because the prices are through the roof. But supposedly Mykonos wasn't always like this. Back in the 50s it was a relatively poor island, and then the celebrities come and the prices went through the roof. From Little Venice there is just a short walk up the hill to the other main site of Mykonos.
Well, I would call them windmills. They're more like flour mills, but the lady in the bar that we were just in did say that that is the only, or one of the only clubs / bars that are open until 6 in the morning. Crazy.
You can't come to Mykonos and not try one club.
So we might go back there later, but as I said, these are flour mills, not windmills.
Oh, I thought they were windmills.
I know, we keep calling them that. And basically they were built back in the 16th century, and they were a really main source of income for a lot of people because they milled the flour. Don't even know if that's the way.
I feel like everyone comes here for sunset.
Everyone comes here for photos and for sunset. We have found our spot, probably the best spot, and I've definitely claimed this flour mill as one of ours. It's mine now. but from up here you can really see the town of Mykonos, and it's so different, very quaint, and the buildings have so much character. It's what I found with Santorini. It was very beautiful, but the buildings were all very similar. Here, with the different colours and the different styles and the little
more local,
Venice,
doesn't it?
It feels more local, it looks more local, and it's lovely to just be up here on the flour mills looking out on the town, at the sea.
And that sunset.
And the sunset. Time for dinner in a very old bakery.
So can we get one big cheese and 2 small cheese?
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We would not normally have dinner in a bakery, but we could not come to Mykonos without checking out Giora's medieval bakery. Supposedly they have the oldest working bread oven in all of Mykonos, dating back to the 18th century. But outside it says the building itself is 14th century. So we basically have got a lot of different pies for dinner. We have some mini cheese pies and a big cheese pie. But
this makes up for the £25 cocktail.
It's a cheap dinner for Mykonos. Actually, it's quite expensive. All this was €6, which is a lot for a tiny little pie. But cheers, dinner.
Even the toilets are beautiful. I mean,
how is that a public toilet? I'd pay good money to live there. See, I love this. The least gourmet restaurant on the island, and you can get starters for like €5 and just share 2 of them, and you're sorted. There was no way. I was just having a potato pie for dinner. We have a takeaway gyro, a Mykonos sausage, and some chips, all for €10 for both of us, which is really, really good. Like I said, if you stay away from the little Venice area or the fancy beach clubs, it's normal prices. Head to the old port. You'll get a drink for €5. You'll get a main dish for €10. I'm taking this back to the boat. We're getting very, very old. There was no way I was staying out till 6 AM.
we could have stayed out longer, as our ship doesn't have to leave Mykonos until 6 AM tomorrow morning, but we are getting old, and the thought of eating a souvlaki on the rooftop deck of my ship was too much for me, so I had to do it.
We're getting old.
We are getting very, very old. This looks amazing.
I was very excited for this. When Molly went into the takeaway shop, she said they do a Mykonos sausage.
It doesn't look great like that.
It doesn't look too appealing. I don't even know what a Mykonos sausage means. I mean, maybe it was just a pig that was born in Mykonos, but...
The guy said it was tasty.
It's salty. You know what? It's a little bit chewy.
Is it fatty?
I don't know. I'm not sure I like a Mykonos sausage.
Wow, Mykonos, Mykonos, Mykonos. What a surprise. Absolutely loved our takeaway up on the top of the Galileo, our halloumi gyros, our fries, our Mykonian sausage. Crazy, but a great way to end a very unique day. We were really lucky to have Mykonos all to ourselves. It is true what they say, it is very expensive, but there are places to find cheaper drinks and food, like if you go to the other side. Obviously the most famous part, Little Venice, of course, is going to be expensive, but it is easy to find cheap and local places. You just have to look around. It was a shame the beach clubs were closed. I would have liked to have gone to one, because obviously Mykonos is the party island, but we had our own little party on the top deck of the Galileo. One thing I loved about Mykonos really was that I felt like it had character. With Santorini is known to be the most beautiful island, but it just didn't have the character to me. Mykonos has the colourful buildings, it had the Little Venice, it had locals milling around, whereas Santorini was just this picture perfect, prim and proper destination. Still very beautiful, but definitely Mykonos had character. However, we are heading to the capital of the Cyclades. We're heading to Syros. Very excited for that, so we will see you in the next one from the capital.